Hey guys, Scott Dispel here, dispelmusic.com. Today we're going to talk more about our upcoming Inferno album and share some of our light show with you, so stick around. Hey guys, Scott Dispel here, dispelmusic.com. If you like anything Gothic or medieval or fantasy gaming or fantasy art, or you like to daydream about wearing chainmail and wielding a longsword, you're in the right spot. Those are the things we love, and that's what we write our music about. And I'm pretty excited to announce that our Dungeons and Dragons group is going to be getting together at the end of May, and we've been taking a break for so long, and it sounds corny, but that game is such a jump start for my imagination, and it really helps to inspire me to write music, so I'm really looking forward to that. If you can relate, give a thumbs up, and just give a thumbs up anyways to help us, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. If you're not following us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter now, please do so. The links are below. And I share a lot of content on there, like cool pictures of castles and knights and fantasy art, the things that inspire us. So by all means, join us there. Leave comments on the pictures. I love to interact with you. So today we wanted to wrap up the lore album. We've been going through the different stages of the hero's journey, and that's what the album is written about and inspired by. So we have some more news. I'm happy to announce in 3 weeks, Raven C is going to be coming into the studio here, and we're going to record the vocals. So excited about that. We have been working on this album for 1.5 years. We started 2 Novembers ago, and then the awful plague hit, and then Raven C and I worked remotely. She was in South Africa. I was here in Cleveland. I shared some videos of those sessions, so if you haven't seen those, please look through our videos here on YouTube, and there's some really cool footage of us songwriting, which I really haven't seen other bands do. And what we really want to do is we wanted to get you involved in the creative process. We want to share the whole creative process with you, not just the finished product, but we want you to feel like you're part of it, like you're our tribe, you're our family, and you're the ones who support us. So it means a lot to us, and I'm trying to come up with ways to make this more of an all-encompassing journey, so you can really appreciate like where we started, our very humble beginnings, which we're still at, and as we grow, as we create more music, and that's really important to us. So we really want to thank you for your time. So let's share some more information about that. So first and foremost, the Inferno album. The artwork was done by the very talented Claudia Bezik. She is a up-and-coming artist from Poland, and she is doing all these super cool art projects for all these gaming companies. So it's a perfect fit for us because we love gaming, we love fantasy, we love all that stuff. So the back of the album cover is going to be done by Gary Gelderblum, who is an artist out of South Africa. So we have all these great international talented artists that are going to be contributing to the artwork and the imagery, because the imagery is so important to us, because that's what inspires us. Fantasy and medieval architecture, and Gothic architecture, and all that art is really what inspires us. So, you know, we really wanted to find the right people to help us portray that, to share that, and I feel like we did. And you've seen some of Barry's work already. He did our fancy new logo, and he also did the little animation with Raven C in front in the night and the Plague Doctor, which we have been showing on our singles that are on Spotify. So that's his artwork, so we're in good hands, so we're excited for that. So about the Inferno album, we are leaning towards doing a Kickstarter, but we want to get your opinion on that. So our thought was, we would do a limited edition vinyl. It would be red vinyl to match the theme of the Inferno. So you got to do red vinyl if you're going into the Inferno. It would be first press, would be a very limited print run of like 200, 250 red vinyl, only available in the first print, only available to pre-orders. So let us know your thoughts on that. Does that sound like a good idea? Is that doable? We've kind of worked some of the numbers out, but we need about 150 to 200 pre-orders to be able to reach our goal and to be able to afford that. So if you would be willing to help us with that and share the Kickstarter, maybe share it with friends or other people you know that love music as much as you, I think that would really help make this a success. So if you'd be willing to do that, please let us know. Please let us know your thoughts. Plus, if we do the Kickstarter, then we can throw in some extra bonus stuff for people who make the advanced pledges. Like we could throw in some cool guitar picks, some patches. I'm commissioning a new t-shirt design. So we could throw in some extras that we normally could not. So that's our thought. It'll be our first time doing it. I've never done a Kickstarter before, but I'm hoping we're at that level, which it might be successful. So please let us know if you think it's a good idea and it's doable and you'll support it. Then by all means, let's rock. You know, it's all about sharing music, and if people don't hear our music, then it's like we could just sing into these sound tiles. It's pointless. But we have to create, because if we're not creating, we're miserable, and I'm already miserable enough. So I need to create, and I want to share that with you. So that's the idea behind that. So let's talk about the Lore album, our first CD, and we've been going through the different stages of the hero's journey, which is what it's about. And today we're on the temptation stage. And the temptation stage is a very important stage because that's something we all encounter every day in our lives. There's always temptations out there. You know, there's the temptation to, you know, do a shot of whiskey, or would you rather drink an orange juice? You know, there's all kinds of temptations. And if you watch any of the media, they're just flaunting temptation at you constantly. So it's a very important trial and a very important stage of the hero's journey, because if you can pass that temptation stage, that really proves that you have the strength and the courage and the integrity to move forward on the hero's journey, that you're not going to succumb to your old ways, your old self. You're not going to be tempted. You're stronger than that. It tests your resilience. So in the lyrics, we kind of play devil's advocate. So Raven C's singing, you know, tear yourself away now, taste a fruit that's forbidden, indulge in the enchantment, succumb to the allure. So we're really playing devil's advocate. We're really putting that tempting fruit in front of you and saying, go for it. It's so easy. It's there for you. Just take it. Effortless. You know, and beware of anything that doesn't take effort. So that's the gist of the temptation stage. And again, that's what tests your resolve to move forward. And if you pass the temptation stage, if you muster your courage and your strength and you're like, no, I will not be tempted, you move on. And that's very crucial stage of the hero's journey. And I like at the end of the song, we wanted to put a little twist on it, tempt you with that shiny fruit, that gold at the end of the rainbow, where she says, rule with the tools of disgrace and temptation. And what we were referring to is to all the evil rulers or all the kings and emperors in the past who abused their power, who were tempted by their power, and their subjects suffered for it. And I think you can draw a lot of analogies for what's going on today around the world with people who in power who've become corrupted, and they are tempted. and we all suffer for it. So as musicians, it's our job to point that out. And there's a lot of historical stories about tyrannical rulers throughout history and kings and stuff like that. So, you know, there's a really historical basis for the temptation stage. It goes back as far as the Bible, you know, basically after Genesis, there's that apple. So, you know, it's really important to have strength and courage and be able to pass those tests when you are tempted. So that's the gist of temptation. I hope that makes sense and how important it is. I could share a little bit about the music video. It was our second music video and our second single to be released. And it was a special song to us. We really enjoyed it. And we got to film the video at 2 amazing locations. And the first location, the first scenes from it are from the House of Wills, which is an old funeral home that was built at the turn of the century here in the Cleveland area. In fact, it used to be a German opera house at the turn of the century. Then it became a Masonic temple. And then it became a funeral home. And now it's a temple, it's a satanic temple. So that has gone through all these crazy incarnations. So talk about paranormal in that place. It's crazy. So if you see the first part of the video, we are actually filming in the opera room. And that's the scene with the vampires. So I want to thank Jessica and Eric for giving us access to the historic House of Wills. And that place has a history of its own. It's really something. And in the second half of the video, we filmed at the Amasa Stone Temple, which is a cathedral here in Cleveland that was built in Old English Gothic style. So again, that was the perfect fit. And it's really been a journey when I look back on the creative process and how things have kind of fallen into place. And I feel like that's little good luck cookies from the universe telling me to keep going, keep pushing, even though, you know, this is a very difficult project. And it's been incredibly difficult to fund it, to be perfectly honest with you, especially when the music industry shut down. But we're pushing forward. And to finish up on the Lore album, I actually have 2 CDs left. These CDs are from the first press. So if that's a big deal to you, the next 2 people who order the Lore CD will get the last 2 from the first press. And how can you tell? Because you can tell by the UPC code. The numbers are first press. And I also have 2 test presses left. So what is a test press? So when you put out an album or CD, the processing plant will usually send you 5 test presses. Of course, you have to pay for them, but they send you 5 test presses so you can listen to it, make sure the artwork's good, the layout's good, there's no mistakes before you order a batch. So they sent us 5. There was 3 band members, so we have 2 test press left. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. Get a hold of me either in the comments below or shoot me an email at scott@dispelmusic.com. Be like, hey, I want one of those test presses, and then I'll send you a PayPal, and then we'll ship it out. Or if you just want one of the last 2 from the first press, just place an order at dispelmusic.com album, and I'll put the link below. Like I said, what we're going to do at the end of the video is we're going to take you through a walkthrough of how we transformed our studio room for a live set, and then I'm going to share some of the lights I've been programming, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Well, I hope you enjoy it. And again, it's important for us to share the whole creative process with you. We want you to feel like you're part of the journey, because you are. And you're part of our team, you're part of our family, you're a tribe. And when we have a finished product and you get to hear that music, you know what part of the journey was. You know the work that was put into it. And you've been there with us. If you're watching this, you've been there with us. And that's what it's all about for us. So, all right. I will just keep talking for days. So let's go and check out the studio. Alright guys, here is our studio that we've transformed. Normally we play Dungeons and Dragons in here, but we've transformed it into a studio. I put up some pipe and drape, and yeah, it's completely different. It's completely different. So I'll show you a little secret of one thing I got going here. So I've got my smaller acoustic kit here, and what's on here are drum triggers. So I got a drum trigger on the bass drum and then a drum trigger on the snare drum. So what that does is when I hit the bass drum and give it that thump, it activates the trigger, which goes into the drum machine to give me an additional sound. So not only do you get the thump, the acoustic thump of the bass drum, but then I can also trigger like a sub hit or like a deep industrial sounding kick, and the same with the snare. So it gives me some options to play with some additional sounds. And if you're familiar with our music at all, there is an electronic element that we like to incorporate in there. It just gives us more of a palette to color our music with. Look at it that way. So this is where the magic's going to happen. This is where we're going to record our live set with our buddy here, and got to have the imagery. And like I said, I'm going to share some of the live show I programmed. I've been spending about a week programming the lights. It's been a learning process, and I want to send a shout out to all the guys at DMXIS, especially John. I've been in contact with him. It turns out one of our unit was bad. We had to send it back. They sent us a new unit, and so I want to send out a shout out to those guys. And what the DMXIS is, I will show you because this is super cool, but it's DMXIS by Entech. And what it is, it's USB to DMX. It's crazy technology. So I can pre-program the whole light show in Ableton Live, and it will automate with the song. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm going to share some of that with you. So I hope you enjoy it. Check it out.